Hello there. So let's implement stack with Python. So stack is basically a linear data structure that can store values just like an array, but it's dynamic, so that's why people prefer it. So let me give you an example. Let's say you have a DEX and you have placed some books on top of each other, like one, two, three, four books. Now, if you want to place another book, you cannot place it at the end of it. So the way you're going to do is you have to place another book on top of it. So at the last, right? So stack is basically similar concept where you have this kind of data structure, and if you have, for example, one, two, 3, and then 4. These are the values that are stored here. Now, if you want to insert another value, you have to insert it here. You cannot insert it at the middle, at the start. That would violate the concept of the basic idea of stack. So you have to insert it here at the last. And Python has a function called push. So that basically push an item, the append. That basically appends the item at the last of the array. And if you want to remove an item, you have to remove it from this same place, which is the end. So you can say that stack is basically last in, last out. So whatever items came last is going to be, you know, removed first. Sorry, I said it incorrectly. So last in, first out. So whichever item came last, that would be removed first. So, and there is another function called peak. So peak basically gives you this item, which is placed on the top, or you can say at the which is the current top element of the stack. That will be peak. So let's try to implement this with Python. I'm going to open the Jupyter Notebook. You can use any kind of editor, but I prefer Jupyter Notebook. It has a lot of functions and a lot of visualization. So let's say that you want to so first you have to declare a class called stack. Then you have to declare a constructor. This is basically a constructor in Python. Then you have to declare an empty array, which is called items. You can call it anything. This will be an empty array, which will be used as a stack. So let's say here the first function is the push function, right? You want to push an item into the array. And if any one of you don't know what self is basically a keyword of Python, which is similar to this. You might have used it in JavaScript or Java or C++. It is basically this keyword. That's it. So Python use self, and other languages mostly use this keyword. So you will have to get an item, and then what you do is you will just say that you items dot append. So append basically pushes item at the last of the index at the last. So this will insert item in the last. And now if you want to remove an item, right? So it doesn't take any kind of parameters. Self is basically a default parameter that you need to pass to every class, every function in a class or method in a class. So for the removal of the item, Python has this function called as. So we will return the removed item so that the user know that you know what this item was removed. So Python has this function called as what is it? Pop. Yeah. So pop basically removes the item from the last of the last index, which is basically this index, right? This index, whatever is placed on this index will be removed. And you can also add at this point, as I said earlier. Now we can declare another function which is empty. We'll check if uh, l- the structure is empty or not, data structure is empty or not. So it is really simple. What all you need to do is check the length of the self dot items, which is the you can say it is an array, but you have to call it as a stack. You have to check its length if it's equal to 0. If it's equal to 0, that means it's empty. Then we have another one which is called peak, as I said earlier. Peak also doesn't take any arguments. Peak is basically you have to return this item. This item, whatever is placed over here, you have to return it. This is the top of the stack, and this is called as peak. So the way you can return peak is you have to say self dot items. You have to use the indexing. So self dot items, then minus 1 from it. Why am I minusing 1 from it? Let's say you want to retrieve this item, right? So what is the length of the total, what is the total length of the array? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 is the total length, right? Now if I say that you know what, retrieve me the 5 elements. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, 5 doesn't even exist. So basically we minus 1 from it, which will become 4. And 4 is this item. So that's basically the idea behind it. And we can also declare another function which will be used to display all the elements in the stack or the items in the stack. So we are going to go through the for item in self dot items, and then we have to say that print item, and then the we want to print it in the horizontal. So if you want, if you doesn't want to print it on at the horizontal kind of format, you can just skip this and all the digits will be and the values will be vertical. You will see this difference once we use it. So let's declare a stack, and we are going to say stack. So stack has been created. Now if we check stack dot is empty, it will be empty because there's nothing there, right? So let's push some items to it. Push. Let's say we're going to push John. So you can store multiple kind of data types in the. So you can store numbers, strings, uh, Boolean variables. You can also store decimals. So now let's check the peak of this. What is peak? Peak is the last inserted item. So what do you think? What is the last inserted item? Of course, it's 1.3. So let's see if it gives us 1.3. Yes, it's 1.3. Now let's display all the item in a in the stack. So we first pushed John, then we pushed 1 to 3, then false, then 1.3. So it's correct. Now let's remove some item. Let's say we want to remove the last element that we inserted, which is 1.3. So it removed 1.3, and now let's see what what values are stored on the stack. So as you can see that first we got this, which has about 1, 2, 3, 4 items, and now we have 3 items. The last one has been removed, and now if we check the peak of it, it will be different. It will be false. So this will be the peak of it, and similarly we can also check if it's empty or not. Of course it's not empty, so it's going to give you false because it has some items. So basically their stack is really simple. All it's basically the same as say it has same operations as an array. As you can see, we haven't used any kind of custom operations. Everything is same that you use for an array. So this is basically stack. I will provide the code in the description. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Okay, have a good day.